Fireworks.
Work on.
Introducing the new party. We live stream Monday through Thursday 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Suspended and now restricted from campus. Now that comes after pro-Palestinian demonstrators took over the Milstein Center at Barnard College for several hours Wednesday. They demanded that the school reinstate students who were recently disciplined. And they claimed administrators, quote, sabotaged negotiations and locked down campus last week. Columbia says it will swiftly work through the discipline process. And amid the ongoing unrest and concerns about anti-Semitism on the Columbia campus, the Trump administration is slashing the university's federal funding by $400 million. And as News 4's Chris Glorioso reports, the government is already warning that more cuts could be coming.
We shouldn't be paying for hate on a college campus. And if Columbia is not getting the message, then action like this, action like cutting the funding, may get through.
Gerard Felitti of the Lawfare Project applauding the Trump administration for its decision to revoke hundreds of millions of dollars in Columbia University grants and contracts. He represents several Jewish students who say their rights have been violated by pro-Palestinian protests, some of which featured imagery celebrating Hamas, a U.S.-designated terrorist organization.
Then you're getting to the anti-Semitism that causes harm.
Friday, newly confirmed Education Secretary Linda McMahon issued a statement saying since October 7th, Jewish students have faced relentless violence, intimidation, and anti-Semitic harassment on their campuses. Today, we demonstrate to Columbia and other universities that we will not tolerate their appalling inaction any longer.
The Trump administration doesn't have the right.
Free speech advocates swiftly denounced the yanking of federal funds, saying financial penalties amount to an unconstitutional violation of the First Amendment.
The administration cannot condition funding for a variety of things on suppressing speech that they disapprove of.
Leonard Leon is an older student who audits classes on campus. He praised Columbia administrators for improving the campus atmosphere from last year when pro-Palestinian encampments and sit-ins disrupted learning for weeks. As a Jewish student who audits classes here, how do you feel about this decision from the Trump administration?
I think it's disgraceful. I feel that Jewish students are being hurt as well as non-Jewish students.
Columbia University administrators reacting today with a written statement that says, in part, we take Columbia's legal obligations seriously and understand how serious this announcement is and are committed to combating anti-Semitism. The NYCLU, meanwhile, says that Columbia should immediately take the Trump administration to court to get these funds back. So far, the university has not said whether it intends to do that.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Mars. You muted, Slim. Go ahead, Enzo.
I'm Enzo Nuccio.
And I'm 85 Slim.
And tonight we have a special guest. Enzo is back joining us. Enzo, let everyone know where they can find you at.
So everybody, you could follow my main account on TikTok. It is Enzo Debates. on TikTok. That's where I do usually daily lives talking about, try to do political debates and a little bit of political content I post on there.
Yeah, so everybody go give him a follow. Go on TikTok at Enzo Debates. And we'll get in more about his show at the end, and he'll, tell us what the topic's going to be after this or when the next time he goes on. But tonight it's a lot to talk about, y'all. A lot. Okay. So I don't know if you guys been keeping up, but a lot's been happening in New York, the center at Columbia University. As you guys can see in that clip, a student, former student who recently graduated in December, has now been detained by ICE and is going to be deported. And it's kind of unclear the reasons why, and we'll get into it tonight. A lot of it, at the center of it, obviously has to do with pro Gaza demonstrations. Enzo, you live up north. What's your thoughts on these protests and the arrests that have been made right now?
So I'm all for completely peaceful protesting. Like, I think everybody should have that right. But to the extent that Colombia took last year with the all the anti-Semitic rhetoric and everything that was coming out of there, I thought that was absolutely disgusting. With the person that got arrested, I read into it a little bit myself that they were actually handing out pro-Hamas flyers and paperwork. In my eyes, I'm going to look at that person as if you're a terrorist yourself, regardless of your skin color, whatever it is. They're a known terrorist organization. I think what happened with them in Gaza between Israel is disgusting, and they should be condemned for that. Should not be allowed here. Like, there's a difference between free speech and hate speech in my eyes, and that's a clear violation.
You taught me something new. I did not know that. And so, Gray, as the person representing the Democrats tonight, what is your thoughts on the protests and everything going on with this individual that's been taken into custody?
I heard he was taken into custody. From what I'm aware, you have to go to a federal judge to actually lose your immigration status. I see someone, Kaizen, he's building a show. He put on his Instagram that if you're a green card holder, it doesn't matter if you have tried to overthrow a country or all types of different things that you can lose your citizenship. But what I would want to say is that what Trump is doing with threatening federal funds, I feel like regardless of the situation, the federal government is not supposed to infringe on the state. The state is supposed to be able to do what they want to do, and they shouldn't be threatened to withhold funds just because they're doing something else. And that's how the Civil War started. The states were mad that the federal government was telling them to do something.
That is a good point. And a lot of this goes back to the Constitution. 85, what's your thoughts on the little that you found out tonight and that you know?
Well, I agree with Enzo on those statements. Number one, I was going to ask, what did this gentleman do to actually get deported? But with that being said, now that I'm more educated on what he was passing out, that put him on the radar.
Right.
So at first I was going to say, well, it's not fair because we're looking for criminals. But again, when you do something like that, you put yourself in that category. Now, as far as the funding, if it's going to protests like that, I think Trump is doing exactly what needs to be done. If the states are going to use those funds in a different way, I would say, yeah, fight for the money back, but they got to prove where those funds are going. We just can't be giving $400 million to universities that's advocating for hate. I don't agree with that.
So I didn't know about him passing out the pro-Hamas flyers, but let's take away from that. A lot of what the reasons why they're focusing on is not even the leaflets, from what I'm hearing. They're focusing on his rhetoric and the fact that he was the negotiator. So pretty much, just so everyone is aware, this guy, he is from Syria, but he has a green card. He's not just on a student visa. And he was basically the middleman between the students and between the administration and negotiating for, the protest. Now, two sides to this, and I'm going to play a clip by Speaker Johnson. I can tell you from some of the rhetoric I've seen on the camera, they were very harsh to some of these Jewish students. I'm not going to say that they weren't, because I've seen it get pretty nasty. But on the opposite argument of all of this is, it appears that we're now going after freedom of speech, and we're attacking them from having the right to peacefully assemble. The next clip that I'm going to play, guys, just so we're aware, that it's unclear if what they're doing is lawful right now. And I'm going to play the clip because the judge has now blocked what's going on, and I'll play it and we can give a reaction.
Prominent Palestinian activist is arrested by federal immigration agents. A federal judge has now ordered Mahmoud Khalil to not be deported.
But President Trump is warning this is just the first of many more arrests to come. Fox 5's Linda Schmidt joins us live from Morningside Heights with the very latest. Linda.
Yeah, first of all, good evening to both of you. And the lawyer for Mahmoud Khalil is telling us tonight that he is in ICE custody, but he is not in custody here in New York. He is in Louisiana. That is where he has been transferred to. He was picked up on Saturday night. Now, the Trump administration wants him deported, but a judge is saying, hold on just a moment. He is blocking that, at least for now, because Khalil has a court hearing here in New York on Wednesday. We want justice, we want peace. A couple hundred protesters demonstrated outside the ICE field office in Lower Manhattan, demanding the release of Mahmoud Khalil. Some demonstrators clashing with police, leading to their arrest. Khalil, a graduate student at Columbia University until last December, was detained by ICE Saturday after agents showed up at his apartment, which is owned by the university.
The attack on Mahmoud Khalil is intended to make them quake in their boots, and to make all of us quake in our boots.
About 70 faculty members with Columbia and Barnard College, along with immigration and civil rights activists, speaking out in support of Khalil. He is a Palestinian activist who has played a role in the anti-Israel, pro-Palestinian protests on campus. His lawyer releasing a statement saying that he is, quote, someone who has never committed a crime and who has simply expressed his political opinions. But the Trump administration sees it differently. The administration has designated Hamas a terrorist organization. Many of the protests, some of them violent, have included language and written material used by Hamas. Jewish students have also been harassed for being Jewish. Khalil is not in the U.S. on a student visa. He is a legal permanent resident with a green card. His wife is a U.S. citizen.
He is in real danger, and each of you bear substantial moral responsibility for that fact.
President Trump posting on social media, we know there are more students at Columbia and other universities across the country who have engaged in pro-terrorist, anti-Semitic, anti-American activity, and the Trump administration will not tolerate it. We will find, apprehend, and deport these terrorist sympathizers. But once again, as we said at the very top there of my report, a judge is so far barring Khalil's deportation.
So we had a lot of education this week for a lot of Americans. People said, oh, he's a green card holder. He doesn't have any rights. I mean, there were some pretty ignorant comments that I read. But just so everyone's clear, green card holders have the same fundamental rights when it comes to peaceful assembly, freedom of speech. But Enzo brought up a good point. If he's giving out those leaflets, that kind of changes the discussion. Enzo, do you think this is going to hold up in court? What's your thoughts?
So that's a hard question to answer. I don't know if it's going to hold up in court, but like I said in the beginning, yeah, that would be a good reason to get somebody out like that. I don't agree with it. I don't think everybody in those protests are terrorist sympathizers. They could be just protesting the Palestinian, the Israeli occupation in Palestine and the war. So I'm not going to say they're all Hamas sympathizers, but I'm kind of leaning towards that it should be upheld in court, honestly, for him, for at least.
So, Enzo, do you think that this is going to be the start? Because a lot of people were saying online, green card holders today, Americans tomorrow, American citizens. Do you think this is the beginning of, I hate to say it, but it's kind of like a witch hunt. Like, you got to watch what you say, you got to watch what you do. Or do you think that this is just because they took things too far on these college campuses?
I really think it's because they took it way too far on college campuses. I don't think it's gonna be a witch hunt like that, where you need to watch what you say in case you need to be deported for whatever you say. Because I mean, that's anti-American. That's against the Constitution. We have a First Amendment right for a reason. But if it comes down to hate speech, then that's where I would draw the line on that.
Mm-hmm. 85. What's your thoughts?
I feel the same way. When the administration labeled that group a terrorist group, that was probably the indication to leave it alone. Like, whatever you're doing, just leave it alone.
Why you living in college housing?
Yeah, like, I mean, if you guys remember when all this terrorist stuff was going on back in the days, you couldn't say the word BOMB. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, don't, like, now we're living in the days of almost the same thing. We got to watch what we say on social media. Everything you could be held accountable for, and you might not even mean harm, but it sucks. But to be honest with you, the only way to fix this country, it's got to get ugly first. It's got to be statements. People are going to be used of as examples. A lot of people won't like it. A lot of people won't accept it. But the reality is what it is, and this is what the people voted for. So we can't be surprised.
Right. Gray, before I get to you and go to you, I want to tell you guys about this letter that was signed by all Democrat, well, not all, but all those that signed were Democratic members of Congress. They signed a letter begging Kristi Noem to release him, Rashida Tlaib, Mark Pocan, Nita Velasquez. I'm just going to say names you guys might know: Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Pressley, Jasmine Crockett, the superstar herself, Al Green. So, Gray, what's your thoughts as the Democrat on the line? Do you think that the Democrats should go harder on defending him, or do you think it's, do you think this is par for the course that they did this letter? Like, do you think that this is the future of the Democratic Party? Are they finally going to, have a backbone on something, or are they just supporting him because it's the cool thing to do?
No. Napoleon said, when the enemy is destroying himself, do nothing. And right now, Trump is always going to do whatever he wants to do. I know you guys are MAGA, but you guys should know Trump is going to do whatever he wants to do. He doesn't care if it's legal, moral. He doesn't care. Trump rules like he's in a monarchy. So I'm not surprised Trump did this, but this is why people like Trump, because Trump isn't afraid to do whatever he wants. So should the Democratic Party put their hands in this? No, because all they're gonna do is make some type of misinformation. Then they gonna call them Hamas sympathizers. They just gonna turn it on them. They didn't stand up for the kid with cancer. We all watched it together. Well, me, you, and Enzo, and then freaking Slim, you was there too. I think you was still there.
Slim was there.
Yeah. So then they said, they didn't stand up. They didn't stand up. So I feel like no, stay out of it. Like, because if they get in it, they go find a way to like turn it against them.
Oh, gosh. Wow. Well, we'll see what happens next. So our next topic of the night, speaking of MAGA, is everybody's favorite Elon Musk took a couple of blows this week. I want to start with playing this clip. I'm going to share my screen of the Tesla attacks. I don't know if you guys heard, but they pretty much went berserk at some Teslas.
Armed with a pickaxe and sledgehammer in Seattle's Soto neighborhood, these two fellas went to town on this Tesla. The car was left in shambles with shattered windows, massive punctures, and tons of anti-Elon Musk graffiti.
We don't like what Elon Musk is doing.
This man would only give me his first name. Greg, sorry. But says he actually owns the white Model S.
I bought it just to destroy it.
And Greg says he coordinated the stunt with his friends because he doesn't like Musk.
Tesla supports fascists. Let's keep that stock going down.
This is all part of a grassroots movement called Tesla Takedown. Some are trying to sink the electric vehicle maker's stock price and ruin anything associated with a controversial CEO.
They're getting wealthy at the taxpayer expense.
All this animosity and relentless nationwide protests come in response to Musk's handling of President Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE.
We're also seeing a lot of upside-down U.S. flags here today.
He's cutting entire federal agencies and the jobs that come along with it. And some people have even resorted to criminal activity to hurt Musk.
Oh my gosh, a Tesla Cybertruck is on fire.
Late Sunday evening, Fire crews battled flames shooting out of several cyber trucks in this Tesla storage lot.
Does this look like arson, sir?
We got our investigator on the way.
Dang. Look at this.
At this point, the cause remains under investigation. But with all the Elon hate, there is concern it could be arson. Seattle police and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives are investigating.
You bought it to destroy it?
Yeah. The Inferno was just minutes away from this Tesla bash session.
Why are you wearing masks outdoors?
But just to be clear, none of these protesters have been accused of having anything to do with the destruction of those torch cyber trucks.
I'm not talking to you. Greg is just trying to tell his
They're
story.
too rich. They don't need to do that. They can just buy their own. Oh my God. You know, can we talk about the privilege to be able to sit there and buy a Tesla and be able to destroy it? Enzo, these are the type of people that should be voting Republican. I'm going to be real with you. I'm not going to hold you. If you can sit there and buy, what are they, like $70,000 cars? And they're sitting there destroying them. Well, the stocks did drop. Enzo, what do you think this means for the future of Tesla? And what's your thoughts on what you just saw?
It don't matter what the future of Tesla is. Elon has all the money in the world. Who gives a shit? That's the way that I look at it. Like, if you're gonna buy a Tesla just to destroy it, you're contributing to that company. I don't care what you say. You're making yourself look like an idiot in my eyes. Like, it's I don't understand it. I really don't. And I ask people all the time, what is destroying that car gonna do? Like, does he really live rent free in your head every single day that every time you see a Tesla, you're going to give the finger, call him a fascist or this and that? Like, it takes more energy to hate somebody like that than to just not give a shit. That's my take.
Gray, what do you think about the protests? Are you pro, like, let's destroy the Tesla? Do you support your fellow Democrats? I don't know. Maybe they were Democrats. I'm assuming they were.
The stockholders are pretty upset with Elon Musk. They don't want him at the White House anymore. They want him back. They're seeing the Tesla drop. They're not top in the EV market anymore. Like, Musk himself may not be hurting, but the stockholders at Tesla are hurting. And what I'll say with Trump, anybody that attaches themselves to Trump, they always end up getting hurt, and Trump always ends up gaining something. So, like, this is Elon Musk did not have this reputation before he supported Trump. He was considered a smart genius that was a one-in-a-lifetime engineer. Now it's like he's this fascist, he's this. His whole reputation has been destroyed, all because of his association with Trump.
85, I already know where you're going to go with that, man. Just take it away.
Yo, man. Hey, it's the prime example of my favorite three letters. TDS. That's all it is. It really exists. And Gray, you said everything I needed to say, because once you mention his name, this is how it is. There's nothing logical about their actions when you mention this man's name. Nothing. We could go all the way back to the protests. It's all about destroy, 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 riot, riot, riot. Wait a minute, peaceful protest. Basically, this is what they do. I'm not surprised. And only reason they doing this is because Elon is down with the man. And yeah, we all loved them before. Everybody wanted a Tesla about 3 years ago. Everybody wanted a Cybertruck about a year ago. So I'm just like, whatever. It'll all blow over. I'm more concerned about $4 trillion of missing taxpayer money. So I don't care about how many Teslas get burnt. I'm cool.
The other thing that happened this week was the X was hacked. Let me play that clip.
A massive cyber attack to try to bring down the X system with IP addresses originating in the Ukraine area.
Well, so that's your suspicion. Is the website, is the internet up? Is it up yet?
It's up, yeah.
It's up yet. Okay, good. But I just was looking.
That's big.
So pretty much what I'm hearing in my research and is they're saying that it originated in Ukraine. They believe it did there. Then there was a group that claimed responsibility. They said they're not really affiliated with any political things. But then in some conversations with some influencers, they said they're doing it because they're angry with what's happening in Gaza. It was a combination of answers being given. Gray, who do you think it is?
I would say I'm not gonna make a guess on camera and say like, okay, I think it's this person. I will want the investigation to happen, but I will say my assumption is because of Elon or probably what people say on X that used to be Twitter. So that would be my assumption. I wouldn't even be surprised with how crazy Trump administration is if it came out of Elon Musk did it himself. So like that's how crazy this is. That's the problem.
Come on, bro. He didn't do it himself. You hanging out with us too long with the 85, who you think did it?
Man. Good question. The way I look at it is this, right? We all got friends on, like, let's say Facebook. Every month and a half, I get a friend. My Facebook's been hacked. Wasn't me. Don't follow this page. So they bringing it to light now for a reason. And I do think it's because, what's going on and Elon is basically, doing what he's doing. But the scary part is it just lets us see that how vulnerable the systems are. I look at that as opposed to it's X and it's Elon because it happens to Facebook. It happens to, individuals, So the hacking thing is probably going to get more extensive because there's more hate towards Elon. It probably going to happen again. Don't be surprised if Twitter gets shut down. Never know.
Yeah. Enzo, why, who do you think it is? Like, do you think it's Ukraine like he's saying, or do you think Elon did it like Gray said?
I'll be the crazy conspiracy nut on the panel. It was definitely Ukraine because we took away Starlink. Zelensky's getting payback. Zelensky's getting payback for that jumping that from when he got jumped by JD and Trump.
That could be.
I don't know. I don't really think it. I don't
digital
think it's that.
lynching.
Yeah, that's what it could be. I mean, it could be a mixture of things. Honestly, I know I said a conspiracy about it, but us taking away Starlink from them during the war, I think that could play into it.
It makes sense to me. They're pissed. And then now the next day, they're saying that they're giving in. Oh, we're gonna sign the deal as long as Russia does. So I mean, it was like let's get our get back, then we'll give in.
When are they gonna sign that though? Because Ukraine just launched more drones into Russia, like to yesterday, I think it was.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Putin is cool with the ceasefire agreement, right?
Oh no, both of them are, because last week Russia launched into Ukraine, and now Ukraine's launching back into Russia. So I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on now.
This is all ego, man. I'm telling you, it's ego.
Well, it's greed too, because they can't account for most of the money. I mean, I don't understand why that's not an issue that us as Americans, we can't say, where did the money go? Like that shouldn't be even a left or a right thing. That should be accountability on their end. What did y'all do with the money?
They care more about beating Russia than money. Beating Russia is their top, and beating China, that's their top goal. Even if it's Biden or Trump, that's still their goal. And Iran.
This is all about money, bro.
Absolutely.
All of it. Just know that when you go to war, somebody's getting rich off of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Look at Nikki Haley. She's got money and all. She's got pockets with people in all the defense industry. That's why I thought she was going to be a terrible president, because she would launch us into World War III.
I didn't know that. I know her husband was in National Guard. I knew that.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people.
Yeah. There's websites you can go to, Gray, where you can track who gets the funding from where and what companies fund. And a lot of the defense contractor, like Enzo said, they fund her.
But all of them are paid to some extent on both sides.
Open Secrets. That's the website.
Yep. Open Secrets.
Yep.
We can't give
You
all the
literally type
secrets,
in anybody's
Enzo.
name.
We can't give all the secrets. We can't let our
Sorry,
fans know.
I had to use it myself. There's a couple people on TikTok that say they're not paid by the DNC. So I had to do my
Who's paid?
research.
Drop the names.
Harry Sisson, Parker, Dean Withers, Chris Mowley, and what's the other kid's fucking name? Oh, those four, yeah.
They're all left, by the way, Gray.
Yep. All of them paid by the DNC.
I need to get my check. I guess they forgot to send mine.
Right? Supposedly I'm paid by the RNC and Trump's giving me checks. That's what people tell me now. I'm like,
oh man,
I'm missing a couple checks.
I can tell you, I have good friends that are pretty high up in this, and they said they've never gotten a check from the RNC. They're kind of mad. They're like, man, the DNC is giving out checks. Maybe we need to switch sides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. Listen, give me the script. I'll speak whatever you guys want to tell me.
Oh Lord, Enzo's for sale, everyone. But
bring it. I want the highest
segue.
Segues gonna hit him up.
Yeah. Segues into our next topic, guys, about BlackRock. Let's see what the BlackRock CEO admitted to this week.
Deportations and the speed at which this is happening is going to have severe impact on the agricultural sector and the construction sector. I've talked to CEOs in the ag sector, and they remind me that 70% of the men and women who work in the agriculture were not born in the United States. Many of them are U.S. citizens now, many of them have work permits, and many of them don't. And 40% of the construction workers were not born in the United States. You add that up, and what's going on, I think we're going to start seeing, especially when spring and the spring crops arrive, are we going to have enough workers to harvest the crops? And all right, and now, you know, with the whole idea that we're going to have to use a private capital to build out this economy, are we going to have enough workers? I've even told members of the Trump team that we're going to run out of electricians as we build out AI data centers. We just don't have enough. So I do believe deportation.
I don't know if I believe this, because like the thing is this, to be an electrician, don't you have to have a certain certification? Like, don't you have to be like legal? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, how would they be out of like I understand like cheap labor, because I know from the industry I work in, let's just put it like that. The cheap labor, you can be like illegal. Like, and I'm not being rude, it's facts. But like electricians, like you have to go through journeyman school. It's a lot that goes into it. 85, are you believing the things he's saying, or do you think it's just plain evil that he wants to replace American jobs with people that aren't even legal here?
First of all, that's Satan's brother himself. So let me just leave it at that. But this dude's a clown. He's basically, unless all of those employees are committing crimes, he has a point. If they're not committing crimes, what the heck is he worried about? You see what I'm saying? So this whole deportation is taken way out of proportion. And people must understand he's not just going after people that's literally living legally. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're here illegally. What matters is if you're on the books as committing crimes, I believe within the last, 10 years or something like that? It's something to that nature. It's a little ways. But if you're on the books of doing that, you out of here. And they have everybody that they going after. It's not that they just picking people. You know if you're going to be deported. They know. The people who's getting deported, they know. They just not telling whoever's next to them. It's not a surprise. Nah, man. I think everybody that's being deported is being deported for reasoning. I don't think it's just because they're here illegally. I think they're here illegally and committed crimes. So for them to say, or him to say, the entire workforce is going to basically disappear, it's bullshit, man.
Gray, are you in agreement? What's your thoughts on what he admitted to today on camera or this week?
I mean, I'm not sounding racist here, guys, so I'm the only Democrat here, but the people who go do construction jobs and all those types of stuff, they go to Home Depot and they do get Mexicans to come do that work. People aren't checking licenses. You know, we know, I mean, it's an unsaid thing that Mexicans work hard. They do a lot of jobs. So that's true. We're all Americans sitting right here or in America. I don't think either one of us said, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to go be a farmer. I'm going to go pick crops." So I think he mathematically he does have a point that like who's going to work these jobs. So unless they about to have AI robots out there doing it, or you know, American workers are going to do that for $10 an hour, I do think we'll have a labor shortage.
Well, I just
Yeah,
want
but
to add. Let me add to that.
Mhm.
Remember that time, Laura, we were saying that Trump wasn't acting on his promises and he didn't do the whole mass deportation thing. You know what I mean? This has a play to that. Like it's not what we think. It's strategic. You know what I mean? It's not, oh, just because you're here, you gotta go. I don't think that's the case. I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't think that's gonna be the issue at all.
Well, I think he did. Okay, so he did say when he ran that he was going to deport. He did say millions of people. He did, but at the rate they're going, I'm going to be honest with you, it ain't going to be millions. It might be the same amount as Biden. However, he has cut down the border crossings at the border. I can give him that. It's gone down. Like, what was the amount? 85 you gave it last time. It's like over 100%. It's gone down a lot. So I will give him that. But the thing that everyone's talking about, is it because of these big billionaires like this guy that's saying to him, hey, Trump, cool it, stop with the deportations, or do we just not have the funding? Enzo, what's your thoughts?
I don't know if it's not because we don't have the funding or anything like that. I see it on both aspects. Like I see it firsthand too in the industry that I'm in. I work as an electrician myself. I see it on
Oh,
job sites
nice.
all the time. One day you got somebody there who's a carpenter. The next day they're an electrician getting paid well under what we're getting paid. I have a problem with that personally because I don't think that's right because the federal minimum wage is $7.25. Some states are $15, some are 10. What do you think they're getting paid? They can't live off that money. I don't agree with that. But I lost my train of thought with that one.
So, Enzo, are you saying that they're undercutting Americans by coming in because they're illegal and
Oh
getting
yeah,
paid
no,
less?
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. Because I tried to get into the hall myself. Like I'm
Mhm.
unlicensed electrician right now. They told me to go into the hall. It's the stupidest thing I could do right now because companies are taking or people that are not in the hall and paying them far less instead of getting somebody who's in a local who's in a union. So it'll be a bad time.
So they're telling you not to become a part of the union.
Yep.
Why is that? Can you explain that? I'm sorry, because I just want to
So
understand it better.
so coming out of the hall, you're expected to make X amount of dollars. I'm pretty sure up
Mhm.
here I think it's 30 coming out of the hall.
Okay.
When right now I make like 25. They'd rather pay somebody
Okay.
25 instead of somebody who's coming out of the hall for 30.
So then
That's what my boss has told me.
what's the benefit of going in the hall then? Because you get protection of the union?
Yeah, protection of the union.
Okay.
And a lot of the Northeast, a lot of jobs up here, you can't even walk on that job site unless you're in the union. Mhm.
So like so in the same time you get higher pay, but really there's no job security because they don't want to hire you on. So it's like a catch
Yep.
22.
Yep. I'm like, damn, this ruins everything I wanted to go for.
So Enzo, you live in New Jersey. Are you familiar
Yep.
with the deregulation, choosing the suppliers, and all that stuff?
Yep. I did that for 7 years.
Who you did it for?
I worked for Global Power Gas and Electric down in Florida, and then I worked for what was the other one? It was in Pompano. I forgot the name of it. They were a big broker for how was it? It was based out of Texas and Houston.
Okay,
Champion.
Yeah, I know Champion.
Yep.
Yeah, we got to talk off the air.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I love that. That's what got me into sales back when I was 15 years old.
Yeah,
Wow.
we definitely gonna talk.
Yeah.
Well, I just think it's unfortunate that billionaires are running things in this country, but I guess that's just the way it is. So our last and final topic of the night is a little bit lighthearted, but it has to do with conservatorships, has to do with New Jersey, New York, and it has to do with entertainment icon Wendy Williams. I'm going to play this clip that talks about her conservatorship so we can all get up to speed on how it started and where it's at.
Dr. Wendy Williams' team revealed that she was diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia. The former talk show host is opening up for the first time. It follows a docuseries that gave a glimpse into Williams' life under a conservatorship.
In an interview with The Breakfast Club, Williams says she is cognitively fine, but she says she feels trapped in a health facility. News 4's Pat Battle has more.
I am not cognitively impaired, you know what I'm saying? No, but I feel like I am in prison. You understand what I'm saying?
That's what Wendy Williams told fans of the once high-profile talk show host who have been questioning for months how she's doing. Williams calling into the radio talk show The Breakfast Club this morning from the New York facility where she's been living since she came under a court-ordered guardianship in 2022.
For the last 3 years, I have been caught up in the system. This has been 3 years.
Her niece, Alex Finney, called in from Miami on another line.
My aunt sounds great.
Yes.
I've seen her in a very limited capacity, but I've seen her. We're talking to her. This does not match an incapacitated person.
Not at
and
all.
she, that's why we say she's in like a luxury prison.
Yes.
Because she is being held and she is being punished.
Williams hosted her popular daytime talk show from 2008 through 2021 when she stepped out for medical reasons. Her thyroid condition, never a secret, but her guardians later claimed that her health had taken another, more serious turn.
They said you're cognitively impaired and you're incapacitated.
Do I seem that way?
No.
You've been
God
calling,
damn it.
you've been calling me 5 times a day for the last 2 weeks. No, you don't seem that way.
In a wide-ranging 37-minute chat with the hosts, Williams said that legal issues kept her from doing what she does best, talking about it, after a lawsuit filed against A&E Lifetime, which last year aired the documentary, Where is Wendy Williams? It left fans shocked by her appearance and worried about her well-being. Her niece saying that rumors about her aunt have been greatly exaggerated.
She hasn't had, from what I understand, a medical evaluation to see if her rights can be restored. And it seems as though that instead of this guardian, Sabrina, working with her, it seems as though she's made it difficult every which way for my aunt to be able to live any sort of healthy, independent life.
Williams says she spends her days in her room watching TV, no internet, talking on a phone she can only use to call out. And she fears she may lose after making this call in to the Breakfast Club.
What if they take my phone? I won't be able to talk to anybody.
She says she rarely leaves the facility. Family visits are few and far between and only with permission from the guardian. She sobbed thinking about her father's upcoming birthday.
At 94, the day after that is not promised. It's not promised.
I wanted to know what you want people who are listening to do. What do you want us to do?
There's the hashtag Free Wendy. There's also a change.org petition as well. And also just making as much noise as possible. The system's broken.
This is what is called emotional abuse.
Pat Battle, News 4 New York.
So to give backstory, guys, she's basically stuck in a room. It's quite sad. But initially, when she got to that facility, there's more to this story, obviously. When she initially got to that facility that she's at the top floor, they have a bar. And she would go up to the bar and she would drink. And she had more freedom. And because she would go and drink at the bar, they then put her on this floor where she's locked down. So to give why she's so restricted. I mean, it's quite sad, though. She doesn't even have a laptop, an iPad. She has no control of her money. And another backstory why she wasn't released to her family that I later found out. And she admitted to this. Her son was taking money from her. So it's quite sad what's going on with Wendy. Enzo, you are in New York City. Not New York, but the New Jersey, that area.
Same thing.
Kind of. What do you think about what's happening to Wendy? Is this karma or is this quite sad what's happening? And, this goes to the whole conservatorship conversation.
I think it's sad, honestly. I mean, it's kind of like what happened to Britney Spears years ago. That's the way I look at it. I mean, not releasing her to her family because somebody's stealing money from her and her family. That's one reason. But I mean, I'd have to look into it more myself to see really what else there is, because it doesn't just seem like that. In my eyes, just that.
Gray, what's your thoughts on everything you've learned about Wendy and her conservatorship?
I'm going to tie it to politics, since we've been talking about politics all night. What I feel like with American culture, like we're like so based on strength with people. We just, whether you're going through dementia, you're going through mental illness or health concerns, we're going to keep putting you out there. The person I'm talking about now is Joe Biden. And so I feel this way about multiple celebrities, like Bruce Willis supposedly was going through some stuff and they were still trying to like have him in movies. Like these celebrities, we try to continue to like celebrities, politicians, whoever these public figures are, we try to continue to have them working when they really should be in a facility or like have full nursing care.
And I'm glad you brought that up. What they did to Joe Biden was elder abuse. 85, what's your thoughts?
Wendy, man, God rest, bless her. I can't say rest, forgive me for that, but bless her soul. But she been going through a lot because she been running her mouth and she been talking about a lot of people. And she only coming out now because Diddy locked up. So that's what I believe. And those people that's keeping her confined might have some information on the reasons why.
Speak on it, 85. Go on, explain.
Remember, I don't really want to, you know how it is, I don't really want to get those strikes on us, but I
ain't
just
gonna
know
get the strikes, just say it. Just don't say
Wendy
it.
pulled that card on Diddy a long time ago, and Diddy actually got her fired and blacklisted back in the day. She actually ended up going to Philadelphia, and she been having beef with the industry ever since. So the hit was out on Wendy back then. Now, allegedly, I heard that somebody did something to her to put her in this position mentally. And maybe one of those funny parties, maybe a funny drink or two. But this is what I heard. So right now, she wants to speak out because she knows that, or she probably feels that this is what it is. Like, hey, these dudes have been after me all this time. I got to speak out. But she can't really say what she really want to say. And she's probably afraid for her livelihood right now. That's the best I could say.
So hold on, Laura. Enzo, every episode, Slim ties something to Diddy tapes. I know that you are conspiracy theorists. A lot of these right-wing people on the new party are definitely conspiracy theorists. With Slim, you'll be happy because tomorrow on the Man Cave, Vogel putting up Odell Beckham and Drewski, so you will get to talk about it.
Yes.
And I'm gonna be there tomorrow. I mean, I messed up last night. So V, if you watching my bag, I'll be there tomorrow.
But what Slim was saying, that's not even far-fetched. That's not like a crazy
That's what I'm saying.
theory,
That's what I'm saying. Say what you want to say. Sometimes we gotta put a leash on 85. I love him, but I'm like, this isn't Rumble. But
it could
Senator
be Ronald
Kennedy
McDonald was seen with a Whopper. Slim will be like, yeah, I know Ronald McDonald's on the Diddy thing. I know he got something to do with it.
Now, in this case,
I want to see the list. I want to know who's on that.
No, in this case, you guys, 85 is onto something. And the reason why I say that is I listened to that interview when she was on the Breakfast Club, and she said, listen, Diddy wants me where I'm at, especially now. And she said that because she knows the truth. And she was the first one calling him out, saying he was bisexual back in the day, allegedly, all allegedly. She's been calling him out. She's been saying, and she also has dirt on Jay-Z, I hear. She's been calling it out. So people want her where she's at. I agree. And let me show you this clip about it. Gets even worse, guys. So let me show you what happened to her this week, why I'm bringing it up and why it's back in the news. This is her asking for help to get out. This was on Monday, so it's pretty recent. So yeah, what happened was she threw down a note and she said, please help Wendy. And someone called 911 and the police came. And I have another clip of her being escorted out. It's really this is very sad, guys. I don't think I've ever, this is like, at least she's getting exposure because Britney went years without nobody knowing. Now that you guys see how serious it is, Gray, do you still think it's a conspiracy theory? Like, what do you think is going on? Think outside the box.
This is me thinking outside the box. Is people in America that's broke that wish they had a facility that they could go to in a high rise. I'm not about to cry for a celebrity getting extra treatment. I mean, I understand she's a prisoner. She can't do whatever she wants to do, but that looks like an expensive, nice place. She probably get the
True.
best food. She probably get taken care of. So celebrities, I'm sorry that you guys are getting ripped off by your families and friends, but hey, you know, at least you get taken care of as old people that die alone and people don't find them.
Oh yeah, speaking like Gene Hackman, y'all heard what happened? Him and his wife, geez. So I mean, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
How? Okay, guys, we can all go around and give our closing thoughts tonight. Enzo, let everybody know where they can find you and tell everyone your closing thoughts.
Okay. So everyone could find me on TikTok at Enzo Debates. I usually go live. Usually weekdays 6 to 11 every day night. I usually do like just what I'm doing recently is I voted for Trump. Why didn't you? Because I just want to speak to the left and people who didn't vote for him and understand their reasonings and to come to some type of agreement, even though we might not agree politically. At least we can have a cordial conversation. But the liberal crash outs, they keep my life going. They're hilarious. My final thoughts for the night. I thought it was very, very informing because, like, with the X thing, I didn't know about that. The BlackRock thing, I did not know about that at all. Um, and speaking on the whole what's going on in Colombia, I think that needs to be brought to more attention. Everybody needs to pay attention to that more, pay attention to that stuff, that type of stuff, and see that it's not just peaceful protesting, that there are people and extremists on both sides of the group. I'll just leave it at that.
All right, everybody, go check out Enzo. Thank you so much for Enzo coming back. My conspiracy theorist buddy, what's your closing thoughts?
Oh man, another good informative show by the new party. 85 Slim on all platforms if you're listening to music. I love doing this. I love being educated. I love basically gathering together with these thoughts. And Gray, sometimes those conspiracy theories are becoming facts. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Those are my closing thoughts. Man Cave tomorrow night, 8 p.m.
We're working on Gray, guys. He's getting there. He's inching closer. I'm just kidding. Gray, what's your closing thoughts on it? Let everybody know about the Man Cave tomorrow night too.
All right. First, I want to thank Enzo for coming back. He watched the whole address to the Congress by President Trump. Shout out to Nora and Slim. Keep rocking with me. We go make it. Slim gets to finally talk about the Diddy tapes tomorrow. If anybody been watching us, y'all know how much Slim loves the Diddy tapes. We talk about Odell Beckham and Drewski being involved with Diddy. Vogel Bill over there hosting. Y'all keep rocking with us. We'll keep bringing you guys some great topics, new guests, and we go keep going. And anything you guys want us to talk about, put it in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe.
Yes. So my closing thoughts tonight is Enzo is right. I definitely think we need to be paying more attention what's going on in Colombia. We definitely need to be paying more attention what's going on in Congress and what interests our congressmen are following and supporting. I definitely think we need to be knowing what's going on in the Middle East, especially with Gaza. Send prayers out to Gaza and everyone involved. Send prayers to Israel too, for everyone hurting and involved, especially the family of the hostages. So I just want to really send prayers to everyone. Shouts out to everyone celebrating Ramadan right now. For me, Jesus is king, but I still respect all religious freedoms. And going back to Wendy, even though she's a celebrity, I do think that there are some truths to what's going on with the conspiracies. I think there's only a reason why they want to keep this poor woman locked up. So please send prayers to her and hashtag free Wendy. Switching gears here. tomorrow, check out the Man Cave show. They will be talking about the Drewski Diddy allegations. But Thursday night, come back and check us out at 8 p.m. as well. On the New Party, we will have a special guest, a congresswoman. So we'll be interviewing her, and you guys can learn about her. Maybe she can save the Democratic Party. I don't know if there's any saving them at this point. Maybe there is. I'm not going to completely count them out. But if you like what you're seeing, I want everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Please share and subscribe to us. Support us. You can also follow us on all social media. And, you know, all I got to say is just stay woke, not the fake woke, but the real woke, and pay attention to what's going on. And like we always say on the New Party, always vote.
Always vote.
Always vote.
Introducing the New Party. We live stream Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.